Keith Allmiller, artificial intelligence and data science executive and business executive for a number of different companies: energy industry, pharmaceutical, financial services, manufacturing. So I have a very strong understanding of how these technologies are implemented and leveraged internally, not just at the ground level, but also at a business high level. What the goals and objectives are usually. My love for artificial intelligence policy and governance comes primarily from the need to explain and educate people on how these things are leveraged and their potential impact for the future of the human race. I think the most important thing is that executives that are in institutions and in governmental policy making positions understand what these technologies are capable of and what they're not capable of, and then also what the potential implications in the near future are for these things. And honestly, to consistently preach about the importance of intellectual property design, and also for good controls around the tech. As with any sort of statistics implementation or decision-making criteria, such as like credit scores or things like this, there's a huge potential for disenfranchised groups to be negatively impacted by this technology. And by understanding what it is and what it is not, it minimizes the risks to those groups and helps them to understand the implications of any sort of policies that are put forward by governmental institutions or non-governmental institutions that may affect them. So there are some controls in place around policy, around data governance and data management, and key statistical decision engine type metrics like credit score. But they tend to be very specific and not general use for how the technology can affect the rest of us. There's a pretty strong template historically for how things like this will affect people and will affect society. This is just more automation technology. I think the closest thing from a disruption standpoint that has happened historically is probably the Industrial Revolution, with the automation and assembly lines and things like this, where craftsmen were put out of work. People who physically would manufacture these goods were now no longer needed, and they become kind of a specialty thing. I suspect, and from the looks of it, that seems to be the same way that a lot of the white collar jobs that artificial intelligence are capable of doing are going to go over time. Now, we're a long ways away from all of that, but getting ahead of it and understanding the economic implications of these kinds of things is particularly important. There is virtually nothing that this automation software can't do. And the real questions start to become, what should it do and what should it not do? It has huge potential benefits for quality. It consistently does things the same way. And so when it does fail, it will fail the same way, and then it can be corrected and then improved upon. I mean, it's automation software. But the downside is that a large swath of people that make their money on some specific trade may be displaced and need to be reskilled. And so educating policymakers and people that have representation duties for those groups is important. They need to know what's coming and what can be done about it and what can't be done about it. Shutting it down and turning it off and saying, no, this isn't allowed is not really a solution, because there's always going to be a third party or some other organization that is willing to go down that path if we're not. So the question is really more about time and scale and controls to make sure that we're able to actively manage and participate, rather than becoming just a victim or a side story to this major leap forward in human development. So I love to talk about the topic. I love to talk about everybody. I think education for policyholders and stakeholders is the most important thing going on right now, and I'm here to help. So feel free to reach out at any time. Thanks.